Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into two principles that are, frankly, the bedrock of our global economy: national treatment and most favored nation. Now, they might sound a little technical, but trust me, they are the fundamental rules that allow trillions of dollars to flow across borders every single year. Okay, so let's make this real. Imagine you've built a successful company and you're ready to expand. You're looking at investing millions, maybe even billions in a new country. It's a huge opportunity, right? But it's also a massive risk. What's to stop that government from secretly helping out your local competitors or hitting you with regulations that don't apply to anyone else? How do you know you're going to get a fair shot? Well, that's where thousands of international treaties come in. Countries sign these agreements with each other to create a stable, predictable, and fair environment. It's all about giving investors the confidence they need to build things, create jobs, and drive growth. And hidden inside these treaties, you'll find two incredibly powerful tools, two protective shields for investors. And here they are: national treatment, which we'll call NT, and most favored nation, or MFN. This slide just nails the key difference. National treatment is about protecting you, the foreign investor, from being treated worse than a local domestic investor. It's you versus the home team. Most favored nation, on the other hand, is about protecting you from being treated worse than another foreign investor from some other country. Both are designed to stop discrimination, just from totally different angles. So let's grab that first shield and take a closer look at national treatment. This one is all about ensuring that once you're in the country, you get to play by the exact same rules as the local businesses. The basic promise here seems pretty simple, right? A country can't rig the game in favor of its own companies. And that phrase, at least as favorable, is absolutely key. It doesn't mean the treatment has to be identical, but it means a government can't do anything that puts a foreign investor at a disadvantage just because they're foreign. But the real debate, the legal battleground, is always in that final phrase. And that's it. That's the million-dollar question. What does in like circumstances actually mean? Because this is where all the nuance is. You can't just compare any two companies. I mean, is a giant foreign-owned car factory really in like circumstances with a small family-owned bike shop? Of course not. So you have to dig way deeper to figure out what's a fair comparison. To figure this out, international tribunals have developed a kind of test. They ask a few critical questions. First, are these companies even in the same line of business? Are they actually competing for the same customers? Are they subject to the same set of regulations? And maybe most importantly, is there a legitimate non-protectionist reason for treating them differently? Maybe it's a valid environmental policy or a program to help out small businesses. This makes every single case a totally unique, fact-intensive puzzle to solve. So when you boil it all down, national treatment is really a powerful weapon against protectionism. It's the promise a country makes that says, hey, if you bring your money and your business here, we promise not to sideline you just to help out our local friends. It makes sure competition is about who has the best product or service, not about what passport you hold. All right, time to pick up our second shield, most favored nation, or MFN. This one builds on that same idea of non-discrimination, but really broadens the scope of protection. Think of it this way. If national treatment prevents a country from playing favorites with its own citizens, MFN prevents it from playing favorites among all the foreigners. A country can't just decide to roll out the red carpet for, say, investors from country A, while giving the cold shoulder to identical investors from country B. Everyone gets the best deal offered to anyone. And the real-world effect of this is huge. For instance, if a host country offers a special 10-year tax break to investors from France, the MFN principle kicks in. It means an investor from Japan or Canada or Kenya in the exact same situation should be able to get that very same deal. It automatically levels the playing field for all foreign investors. But MFN has another layer to it, a surprising and incredibly powerful feature. It's something that can completely rewrite the rules of a dispute. Honestly, some people call it a legal superpower. And that's because this principle isn't just about day-to-day things like taxes or getting permits. It can actually reach into the legal text of the treaties themselves and fundamentally change the protections an investor is entitled to. And here is the twist. An investor can use the MFN clause in their own country's treaty to reach out, grab a better, stronger rule from a different treaty that the host country has signed with someone else, and then import it into their own case. It's like a legal cut-and-paste job. So this slide basically shows you the playbook. An investor's legal team will scan every single treaty the host country has ever signed, looking for the absolute best protections available anywhere. Then, they use the MFN clause in their own treaty to argue, hey, we're entitled to that better treatment you gave those other guys. In effect, it lets an investor build their own custom super treaty by picking the best clauses from a whole menu of options. Okay, so let's pull the camera back a bit. We've looked at these two powerful shields. Let's put them together now and really see how they form the foundation for the entire global investment system. This table is a perfect summary. As you can see, both are built on that core idea of no discrimination. But the key is who they compare you to. For national treatment, it's domestic investors. Its job is to fight protectionism. For MFN, you're compared to other foreign investors, and its job is to prevent favoritism. And while NT's power is all about ensuring fair play on the ground, MFN has that incredible hidden power to actually upgrade an investor's legal rights. When they work together, these two shields create the kind of stability and predictability our modern world just couldn't function without. They give businesses the confidence they need to make huge, long-term investments across borders because they know there are fundamental rules of fairness in place to back them up. So the main thing to take away from all this is that NT and MFN are so much more than just jargon from a law textbook. They are quite literally the operating system for the global economy. They're the code that enables capital, technology, and jobs to flow around the planet. But that leaves us with one final and really critical question. These shields were designed to create fairness, for sure, but the debate is raging now. Does this system, especially with that MFN superpower, give global corporations too much power? Does it tie the hands of sovereign governments and stop them from regulating in their own public interest? That is the central tension that's going to shape the future of international investment law.